My name is Chris Gethin, and what I aim to bring to you is inspiration, motivation from clients, everything that will allow you to evolve as a human being. Hello everybody, Chris Gethin here, and welcome to the Chris Gethin podcast. And we are coming from Mumbai. We are in Mumbai. I've been in Mumbai for about 6 weeks now, and I've got another 6 weeks here. Why am I here? I'm here to train a Bollywood client. So today I'm going to talk to you about my routine while I'm here in India and what it's like training a celebrity client. What are the challenges? What's good? What's bad? So I got here 6 weeks ago, and it has been quite the challenge, to be honest with you. When you're training a celebrity, it's not as if you can just go out to the park. You can go to public gyms. You can go to the beach without really planning it in advance. It's a little bit complicated, especially when you're somebody as big as my client, who is Roshan. Think, for those of you in America, Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt put together. He's that big over here. He's absolutely massive. So he's recognized by every single person. Doesn't matter what class you're from. Doesn't matter what part of India you're from. Everybody knows Hrithik Roshan. So that can be difficult because we are near the beach. We do like to go down there and do some outdoor workouts, especially when it's raining during the monsoon season. I think it's very refreshing to get outside and kind of control your environment, face certain challenges like that, because it allows you to overcome other challenges. And so that's a little bit complicated. It's not as if I could say, hey, Hrithik, let's go out and grab a bite to eat. Impossible. So fortunately, he does have a gym set up at home. The majority of the workouts we are doing there. But I do not agree with a lot of the equipment that he does have there. So on occasion, we go out and we train elsewhere at a public gym. So, there's a place that is very close by, which is called 48 Fitness. Now, that closed down during the pandemic to the public. However, the family has left the gym open for family and friends. So, luckily, we are considered friends. So we can go train there in a controlled environment as well. So that makes things a little bit easier. They have pieces of equipment such as a 45-degree leg press. He injured his wrist in like the third week I was here, I think. And nothing to do with gym injuries really, but we were able to use like the lateral side raise machine and do rear raises on there without him actually utilizing his wrist. So that gym comes in handy as well. So that's always a problem. Now with the injuries, we've had to really train around the injuries. Hrithik does prepare himself before the workouts, does activate the muscles, stretches a lot, and puts himself in the mental space ready for the workouts. However, I have found that this has turned into be a little bit of a hindrance, not just a help. It's okay if it can help the workout, but there was a point in time where I'd say the biggest setback was not his injuries, is the mental approach to his injuries, believing that he could compromise himself during the workouts. So obviously if you're inviting that into your universe, you're not going to have a positive experience. You're not going to get a good workout. And it came to a head last week when we went through a leg workout, and I hope Hrithik doesn't mind me saying this actually, but there was a lot of hesitation. There was a lot of hesitation before the sets, and that was sometimes stemming from a previous injury. It was stemming from his heart rate going up because he did have COVID a couple of weeks before. We'll go into that in a second. So obviously I needed to make sure that his heart rate didn't elevate too much, especially very soon after that diagnosis, or after he got better. So that was a concern. Basically, there was a few concerns. And I wanted to have a face-to-face with Hrithik straight after the workout. However, he had to go somewhere else for a shoot, for an appearance, I can't remember. So there was too many people around there. I wanted to have face-to-face in privacy, but I didn't have that opportunity. So I sent him a long video message later, because straight after that workout, I went and had my own workout. And I had a shitty workout. I did the workout. My legs were sore for days following, but I didn't feel enthusiastic. I had to push myself through it. And I sent him a long video message and said, I understand it's fine for you to have concern about certain aspects of, your injuries and your setbacks. However, I don't think that's what's holding you back at the moment, because we are behind on this transformation. He had COVID, he had an injury, but now this hesitation is holding us back even more. And I said, the biggest thing that's holding you back is you. It's not your injuries. It's not the heart rate or heart elevation. It's you. Only you is holding you back from transforming. You have to change your mindset. You cannot have this overriding cause for concern before your workouts. You can't face stress before your workouts. You can't talk about work with somebody else externally that could be frustrating you before your workouts. You have to be in the right headspace, because I've flown all the way halfway around the world to be here. I haven't accepted any clients for about 7 years. About 7 years. I've had hundreds of requests. And the only reason I accepted this is because of our history, and I actually like Hrithik as a person. He's a very nice person. And I wouldn't train him otherwise. And that's the reason why I'm here. I've left my partner, my dog, my business, my house. I love Boise, all for him. So if he can't give me 100%, I don't feel that I can. I need to be met halfway as a trainer. I can give you enthusiasm, but this is an energy exchange. And if I'm not feeling that right energy, because we are all vibrations, and if you believe in that, then we need to vibrate on the same level here. So I sent this message, and respectfully, as I'd expect from Hrithik, he's a very smart person. I don't know his IQ, but I suspect it's very high. And he understood. He understood, and he realized it. And I think sometimes you just need to be told the obvious, or a perception from someone else, to kind of have a little bit more awareness. And I'm not saying anything negative about Hrithik whatsoever. I need to be told. Sometimes I read a book and go, shit, I already knew that, but I needed to read it to apply it. So I think that's what we're all here for, is to just be black and white. Don't be gray, and don't tell somebody what they want to hear. You have to be very straight. And I think that's what a trainer should do, and that's what real friends should do as well. So I'm trying to be a bit of both here. So here we are now. We're halfway through. Are we behind on the challenge? Yeah, we are. So he got injured, I think, in the third week. Freak accident where he had lifting straps on, but he also had like a little string bracelet underneath. What would you call it? Like a friendship band, something like that. Anyway, the knot actually pinched the inside of his wrist. And it didn't affect him at the time. He didn't even mention anything at the time. It was only later that evening because he said it did bother him. He just didn't mention it. Later that evening, he actually put his hand flat onto a table whilst getting up. And whatever he had twinged earlier really complicated it later. And he was in quite a bit of pain. And the doctors examined him. Nothing was torn, but there was internal bruising and swelling there. So for then the following week, we couldn't do anything with his wrist. So we utilized ankle cuffs around his humerus, so we could do back movements like lat pull downs and rows, and of course we could do hyperextensions. And then the same with biceps and triceps and shoulders. We couldn't do any pressing, but we could do lateral raises, and the same with the chest. We had to do a lot of fly movements, a lot of isolation movements. So it wasn't the best scenario. And then the week after that, he started feeling sick. He had diarrhea. He just felt weak. And I thought, oh my God, he's coming down with something, because these workouts were definitely a shock to his system. He hadn't trained for several months before I came here. So I knew this was going to be a shock to his immune system. So we took it easy then, because I really didn't want him to get sick. We took it very, very easy. And then About a week after that, he got diagnosed with COVID. He had several tests. He definitely had COVID. So then we couldn't train for about 10 days while he was sick. At least 12 days, 10 days, maybe it's 12. So he didn't have an appetite, he couldn't eat. So the first 4 weeks, I'd focused on mass building. Even though I needed to diet him because he's holding a lot of body fat, I needed to put muscle on his frame in order for him to diet down, have separation from one muscle group to the other group, and look full when we diet down. I didn't want a flat physique. So that had all gone out the window. And then we started kind of getting back into it. So this is really now turning into a 6-week transformation, not a 12-week. So to say that we're a little bit behind is an understatement. To say that I'm a little bit stressed and concerned is an even bigger understatement. So that's kind of the stress I'm dealing with, because when you're dealing with somebody that big and everybody is asking him at the moment about his transformation, the press, I've done some interviews here, they're asking me about the transformation as well. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure because all eyes are on you and you better deliver. Do you think they're going to blame Hrithik? No. No way. Do you think they're going to blame the trainer? Sure. Didn't live up to the hype, because the first time that we had transformed, so I've transformed Hrithik before back in 2011. We were supposed to do a 12-week transformation. We managed to transform in 10 weeks because he was very receptive. A great client to train. We were able to control the environment. He had no other work on. And he had a phenomenal transformation. That ended up all over the front pages of the newspapers, in the media, is everywhere. This time, obviously, with those expectations there, but obviously we're more 11 years older as well. It's a more difficult task, especially considering the setbacks. And he has a movie coming out in 10 days' time. 10 days' time. And he's not only the actor in this movie, he is pretty much doing everything. He's helping with the effects. He's directing. He's helping with the production of this movie. And so he's not just the actor. He didn't sign up for that, but he's not happy with certain aspects of this finished product. And it's not finished yet. So he has been stressed out, working hours to get this done, when I really need him to spend more time focusing on rest, recovery, because as we know, stress allows cortisol to rise and you're not able to recover. You're not able to put on as much muscle. You're not able to burn fat. And, for instance, last night he got like 5 hours sleep, something like that, 5 hours. And I said, what happened? He said, I couldn't switch my brain off. I'm editing in my brain every time that I wake up, because he's got a lot of edits to do in this movie. So the complications of this transformation compared to our first one is really, really heightened, and I'm feeling the effects. So to go into my routine briefly, I basically wake up around 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. I do my meditation. Sometimes I have an instructor named Shri who comes around, and we either go down to the beach or in my hotel room, and she puts me through 30 minutes of meditation. Otherwise, I use my BrainTap device. And if you guys want a discount code to the BrainTap, by the way, just let me know. But it is this device here that works through light therapy, binaural beats, and also you have the guided meditation by Dr. Patrick Porter, who is the inventor. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And then I have my red light. I've got my red light panel, my mobile panel there. I'll get some red light in the morning. And then I usually go down to the beach and do my cardio, which is usually barefoot, so I can ground myself at sunrise, get the restorative red rays if the sun is out, because it's monsoon season here, so a lot of the time it's raining. So I'm getting my movement, I'm getting my earthing, getting the restorative red rays, and getting close to nature, because this is as close as I can get. I grew up on a farm. I live in Boise, Idaho, right in the mountains, but I don't have any of that here. So I try to get down to the beach in the morning just to clear my head. Then I usually come in, have my breakfast, and do a little bit of work, and then get straight over to Hrithik's for about 8 a.m. And then I'm usually there until about 12 o'clock because we usually eat together, we do the workout, we eat again together, do the post-workout cardio, and then I'm there until about 11:30 midday, and then I do my own workout. So that takes me to about 2:30. Sometimes I'll train at various gyms around here, 48 Fitness. Sometimes I've gone to our Chris Gethin gyms in Chembur. So one of our gyms, we have a Chris Gethin gyms franchise here in India, is about an hour drive away. So I don't go there all the time because 2 hours is a lot for me at the moment because my time is so tight. Then I usually get a little bit of work done again, maybe client check-ins, online check-ins, a lot of emails to get through. Sometimes I'm recording this podcast or I'm filming content. I'm doing blood glucose tests at the moment. I've just taken off my glucose monitor. I got to put a new one on. So I'm testing a lot of Indian foods with my blood glucose monitor. My times are pretty much taken up. I'm doing interviews for people's podcasts. Sometimes I'm driving to newspapers or media houses to do interviews. I've been filming collab workouts. Hopefully I'll be doing a cooking collab here very soon. So it's always something's on the go. And then what else do I do? So then I once I've got that work, I'll go back to Hrithik's place when we start the double cardio to do the second cardio. So we'll do post-workout cardio, then a second cardio in the evening, because now we're implementing that to ensure that he shreds down. Unfortunately, I didn't want to push him that hard this soon, but we have to. We've got no choice. And then getting back here about 6:30, I maybe speak to my partner, speak to a couple of other people via WhatsApp because now the US is waking up. I have clients in the US, and then I just unwind before bed. So I go to bed at 7:30. So then I'm in bed reading. I'm also have my brain tap, so I'll meditate in the evening. And that's pretty much it. There's a lot of other things that's in between that's negligible that happens, but my workouts are going very, very well. I'm enjoying my workouts. I'm dealing with tricep problems at the moment. Again, from my torn tricep, I've just made silly mistakes and re-injured it several times, not in a gym. It'd just be stupid things like a bag handle will snap, so I try to grab the bag before it falls and I feel my tricep go. Or the other day, a toilet lid slipped off the toilet. I went to catch that, felt my tricep go. The phone fell off a windowsill. I went to grab that, felt my tricep go. So now I've got some BPC 157 shipped over here from Peptide Sciences. So I'm actually injecting that into my tricep twice a day at the moment to try to do a little bit of damage control until I can go and have stem cells again. So, yeah, and I'm eating about 6 meals a day plus a shake. I'm on a lot of calories. I don't know how many calories I'm on, but it's probably about 4,500, 4,800, something around there, I'd say. But I've been packing on a decent amount of size. I think I'm going to cut that back a little bit now and do some mini shreds, like two-week shred, 2-week bulk, 2-week shred, just to create a little bit more insulin sensitivity again, because with all this food I've been eating, I'm probably getting a little bit insulin resistant. So that's another thing. So anyway, that is my update of what I'm doing here with India and some of the complications trading Hrithik at the moment. It's a difficult situation, but it's a situation that we're in. We have to make do with where we are right now and just make the best of it. The one thing that Hrithik said earlier that I found fascinating, because I said to him, have you ever gone onto a movie set and said, you know what, I made the wrong decision here, and then kind of walked off? He says, no, I've gone onto the set on the very first day and said, at the end of the first day, and thought, this is a bad idea. This movie's gonna bomb. It's gonna bomb. But I'm just going to give it 200%. 200%. And he said, when I put that into the universe and give it the 200%, but the movie still bombs, I just think to myself, okay, well, maybe the universe will credit me for the future. So he always gives it 100%. So it made me realize, we've got to do this. We have to give this 100 or 200% to ensure that we've done everything that we can. Of course, there's certain elements that have held us back and there's nothing that we could have done about it. But what we do have in our control is that we've got to give it 100% effort every single day. So that's what we're going to do. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for hearing me out here in India. If there's anything that you'd love for me to cover here in India on the podcast, please do let me know. I plan to have a couple of guests on the show here before I do depart from India. But if there's anything that you'd like me to cover specifically, give me enough content that would cover a good 30, 45 minutes. Please do let me know. And I really, really appreciate you listening. And if you do like this podcast, you want anyone else to listen to it, please do share it with them. I really appreciate it, because sharing it and getting the views and getting the listens really does keep the lights on and gives me the purpose to keep delivering this content. So thank you very much, everybody. This is the Chris Gethin podcast, and I am out. Thank you ever so much for listening. My name is Chris Gethin, and I am out.